Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Zimmerman.
Morning. Well, good morning. What a great looking crowd. You know, I feel like I've come full circle. The very first convention that my wife Linda and I attended was right here in Las Vegas. That was back in 2006. I'll never forget our first time at this great event. The first evening we were invited to a dinner along with a group of community bankers. We were really nervous and didn't know what to expect. What we immediately noticed, though, was even though they were from different parts of the country, they all seemed to know each other. Everyone was talking, laughing. It seemed like a family reunion. It was obvious that this was something very special. Right then and there, we decided we wanted to be part of it, part of the ICBA family. Joining ICBA and getting involved in this great organization is one of the best decisions we've ever made. I'm happy to be surrounded by you, my ICBA family, the best community bankers in the world. As I stand here, about to become your chairman, I feel anxious, humbled, and excited. Anxious because of the tremendous sense of responsibility I feel to properly and effectively represent you. Humbled because of the opportunity I've been given to make a positive difference for an industry that I love. And excited about the opportunities we have for legislative and regulatory relief, and because of significant changes occurring at ICBA. As you know, we're transitioning from Cam's leadership to Rebecca's. Cam has led the transformation of ICBA into the most influential and most respected financial services organization in the nation. He's immersed himself in all things community banking, and he's met every challenge from every direction. Thank you, Cam. This isn't the first time you've heard this, and I know it's not going to be the last. Now, that sounds like a tough act to follow, doesn't it? Well, it is. But we found the perfect answer to that challenge, Rebecca Romero-Rainey. She's the right person with the right talent at the right time to lead us into the future. She brings us her community banking background and experience, and as you heard this morning, she has an unparalleled passion for our industry and a clear vision of how to lead us into the future. I'm very excited about the prospect of working with Rebecca, the Executive Committee, the Board of Directors, Federal Delegate Board, leadership bankers, the incredible ICBA staff, and of course, all of you, my fellow community bankers. This is a genuine team effort. Our mission is to create and promote an environment where community banks flourish. I'll get to how we can do that in a few minutes, but first I want to take the opportunity to thank my board of directors and recognize several of them who are here today. Terry Graft, our chairman, Dale Walker, Craig Thomas-Meyer, and Andy Hazley, who's also president of our bank. They've given me the opportunity to serve in community banking while they take care of things back home. Also, I'm grateful to have a bunch of my family members here today. My sisters Becky Whipke and Heather Baltzer are here, as well as my nephew, Tom Gacka. Also, my daughter Julie is here, who I couldn't be more proud of. She's my electronics consultant and my running and hiking buddy. And finally, my wife, Linda. She's my strongest supporter and an intrepid traveling companion. She's always there to hear both the good and the bad. Thank you, Linda. I love you. I'd also like to share my story with you, the reason why I'm a community banker. I didn't start out knowing I was going to be a community banker. I actually planned to become a history teacher. But my dad, who was a teacher, told me that teaching wasn't financially rewarding. So I majored in accounting. I started my career as a CPA, and I audited a wide variety of businesses, from manufacturing to mining to steel, to energy, to community banks. But community banks became my favorite clients, hands down. The more time I spent watching community bankers with their customers, the more I realized what a difference they made and what qualities made them different. They were embedded in the community and served as an ongoing source of support and economic growth, and many times identified and addressed unfulfilled needs in the community. I wonder what it would be like to be part of that world. Now, believe it or not, I really enjoyed public accounting, but at KPMG I was on the partner track, which meant I was rarely home. It wasn't until our first daughter was born that I realized there was more to life than achieving career objectives. So when I wasn't traveling out of town, I'd come home late at night from an audit trip, tiptoe into her room. I'd put my hand near her sleeping head just to make sure she was still breathing. Remember now, first time, very nervous parent. Then I'd do the same thing the next morning before I left to work. She was still asleep. It was clear I needed to make a change. Then miraculously, out of the blue, one of my best clients, a community banker, called me one day and said, "Tim, we'd like you to come to work for us." And I've been a community banker ever since. It's been the best career decision I could have made. Being a community banker is a privilege. It's something we should all celebrate and be proud of. That's why I'm so passionate about fighting for our industry and why I feel such a tremendous sense of responsibility to make the most of my chairmanship over the next year. I want to be a difference maker, as Scott Heicamp would say. Right now, community banks are in the best position we've been in for years. We've worked tirelessly to tell our story, and we've made great strides in distinguishing ourselves from the mega banks. Capitol Hill knows there's a difference. The White House knows there's a difference. Even the regulators know there's a difference. The news media knows, as do many everyday consumers. As Linda and I have traveled around the country, we've met taxi drivers, flight attendants, people from all walks of life who understand the difference and bank only with community banks. A strong foundation's been laid, but we have to build on it. We must get regulatory relief legislation to the President's desk and signed into law. We must work to ensure there's a level regulatory playing field in the financial services industry. We must work to ensure that we will continue to have equal and unlimited access to the secondary mortgage market. And we must stop the credit union and farm credit system mission creep. It's up to us, all of us, to work together through ICBA and our great state associations to push through and achieve these goals that are clearly within our grasp. Think how good it will feel to run your bank the best way you know how, not the way you're told to by some legislator or regulator. You're the community banker, after all. You know how to help your customers determine what's best for them. And you're an expert when it comes to your community and its economic well-being. Now, I know we community bankers already have a lot on our plates, just running our banks and serving our customers. But we can't lose sight of what needs to be done for our industry. For those of us who are already involved, we have to stay involved. And we have to get more community bankers involved. It's like the story of the little red hen. Anybody remember that one? The hen has seeds to plant. Ask for help multiple times as she plants and tends her crop throughout the season. But everyone says, "Not I." They changed their tune at the end when she asked if anyone would like to eat the fresh warm bread she baked with the crop she sowed. Of course, then they all say, "Yes." Just think how good that fresh bread would have tasted to the pig, the cat, and the rat. And every other animal had said, "Not I." As an industry, I think we can learn a lot from this classic story. Everyone's busy. But if we don't step and do our fair share, especially at a critical time like this, we'll all miss out at the end. Our story could have an unhappy ending. If we all don't get involved, there may be no bread for us to bake and enjoy. Many of you have stepped up to advocate for our industry. For that, I thank you. ICBA thanks you. Your state associations thank you. Your fellow bankers thank you, and your customers and community should be thanking you. We've made so much progress, especially over this past year, but we can't stop and think our goals are achieved. The fact is, we have to do more. Think about it. If ICBA hadn't spent years fighting for regulatory relief, would the Senate have just passed bipartisan community banking relief? No. If we hadn't been vocal at FASB's headquarters in Norwalk, Connecticut, do you think community banks would have gotten any meaningful changes to CECL? No. If ICBA hadn't hammered away at the Federal Reserve, would we have a designated community bank seat at the Fed? No. And if ICBA hadn't pushed hard, would ICBA community bankers have been invited to the White House twice last year to discuss regulatory relief? No. The regulatory relief bill passed the Senate, but we face a big challenge to get it through the House. That's why we have to keep the momentum going, and why I'm asking community bankers not only to advocate on your own, but to identify a banker who's not currently involved. Every one of us knows a good community banker who should be more involved. If you ask them, they'll respond. But you need to contact them personally. If you're willing to reach out to a fellow community banker next week and encourage them to get involved, please stand to show your commitment. Come on, we can do better than that. We need help to get this bill through. That's more like it. Thank you. That's the kind of commitment we need to drive this bill through the bank. Once you make the contact, show them how to get involved. Lead by example. Show them ICBA's vast grassroots marketing, communications resources, and most importantly, show them that no one can do it for them. The future holds great promise, but it's up to us to make sure that that promise is realized. Community bankers hold the seeds to America's economic prosperity in our hands. Let's go ahead and plant them, one seed at a time. Our customers, our communities, our nation, and maybe even the little red hen will thank us. I look forward to serving you as ICBA chairman. I promise you, I will do my very best for our industry. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your ICBA officers. Immediate past Chairman Scott Heitkamp, President and CEO of Value Bank Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas. Scott and Carrie Heitkamp. Secretary Chris Jordan, President and CEO of the Farmers State Bank of Stigler, Stigler, Oklahoma. Chris and Christy Jordan. Treasurer Kathy Underwood, President and CEO of Ledyard National Bank, Hanover, New Hampshire. Kathy and John Underwood. Outgoing ICBA President and CEO Cam Fine of Washington, D.C. Cam and Debbie Fine. ICBA President and CEO-elect Rebecca Romero Rainey of Washington, D.C. Rebecca and John Rainey. Vice Chairman Noah Wilcox, President, CEO, and Chairman of Grand Rapids State Bank, Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Noah and Julie Wilcox. Chairman-elect Preston Kennedy, President and CEO of Zachary Bankshares Incorporated, Zachary, Louisiana. Preston and Sherelle Kennedy. And your ICBA Chairman for 2018-2019, Tim Zimmerman, CEO of Standard Bank, Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Tim and Linda Zimmerman.
Scott, on behalf of ICBA and community bankers nationwide, I'd like to thank you for your year of service as ICBA chairman. You've made a difference for our industry, and you've also shown what it means to be a community banker. You say that all of us are difference makers, but today I want to tell you, you have made a true difference. And you're a difference maker for every community banker in this room and every customer and community we serve. We appreciate the incredible amount of time that you and Carrie and your family have given over the past year. We thank you all for your dedication to our industry. So I've got here a beautiful plaque that commemorates Scott's service, plus the famous past chairman's pin. So I'm passing that over to you, Scott.
Yay! Yay! This is great. This is great. Well, thank you so much.
You bet.
Tim, I also want to thank you for your dedication and friendship. Over the past year, it's been quite a ride and such a highlight in my life. Thank you all community bankers for this opportunity to serve. Carrie and I will be forever grateful for the memories of the past year. We enjoyed meeting so many of you during our travels. I also want to thank the ICBA Exec Committee members. They are a talented group of individuals leading the charge. And I also want to thank the ICBA staff for devoting your time and energy to this great industry. Just can't tell you how much it means to me to stand here today and tell you thank you. Thank you for everything. Let's congratulate Tim on being selected as our chairman.
Applause, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
It was great.
Thanks.
Thank y'all.